Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show, a real estate investment program. Listen and learn how to use real estate to build wealth and passive income streams for you and your family. We bring you experts every day to discuss and answer your questions on everything from single-family homes all the way up to 600-plus unit apartment complexes. And now, the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
I am glad to be with you today, and we are here to work on your financial freedom. I saw a quote the other day. It said, landlords get rich in their sleep. And I would say real estate investors get rich in their sleep. And that's what we're here for you, is to get you to that place of retirement as quickly as possible. I'm really excited today. I have got a national single-family expert with me. That is Joe Flores. He is with Lifestyles Unlimited. He is a mentor, which means that he is an expert in single-family investing, and he helps people retire in 5 years or less by being their mentor as they go through their real estate investing. If you want to ask him a question today, you can call into the show, 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. One of Joe's very first deals, he had 30% a year cash flow and close to a 500% return. So you want to listen to him today. Joe, I'm so glad you're with us today. First of all, we want to just get to know you a little bit. Tell us about your background, your education, what you did for a living before Lifestyles.
Sure, Dave. It's a pleasure to be on and talk to your audience. So I'm originally from the island of Guam, and I followed my high school sweetheart out to Hawaii. Got an education in secondary music education at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and got into computers right before I graduated. Went into the ministry, then became part of the ministry and actually ran a Christian school in Hawaii. Was making a whopping $11,500 a year.
That's tight income in Hawaii, I would think.
Oh, very tight income. So, it's very interesting to come from there all the way to where I am. I resigned from the ministry in about 2000 and then started working back into the technology world. I was always doing computer consulting to help make ends meet. But then we got into Apple at the Apple store in Hawaii, applied for a corporate position, got an offer both from Sacramento and Austin, Texas. And I chose Austin because of the cost of living. I was going to take a drop in pay, and yet my cost of living, quality-wise, was that of Hawaii. So fast forward about 12, 13 years later, I was watching Facebook, and a friend...
Wait, hold on just a minute. Stop right there for just a second. I do want to ask you one question. So
Sure.
Tell me, so in being raised, were you raised with more of an entrepreneurial mindset or I'm going to get a job and work for the rest of my life kind of mindset? What was your mindset there?
That's a very good question. Actually, the mindset on Guam, for the most part, when I was growing up, it's much different now. But when I was growing up, the mindset was I'm going to go join the military because that's what we do. We give back to the nation that saved us from the Japanese. And I decided, I'm going to give my parents the first college-educated individual, and I accomplished that. And I wish I actually had gone into the military, looking back on things in life. But I got an education, a college education, and somehow I ended up at Apple, even though I had a secondary music education.
So you're working at Apple. What were you doing for retirement up until that time?
I had been in the ministry till the age of 40. So getting into Apple, I was at 40 years old when I got into Apple. And I literally told myself that looking down the road, I basically starting out what a 20-year-old would be starting out in their career. And I'm 20 years behind on the times. And I basically told myself, well, I'm going to be working till the day I die. I never thought or understood what a 401k was, even though I knew it was a vehicle for quote-unquote retirement. But knowing what I was putting in, knowing what the quality of life that I would have to be supporting myself with was not going to be enough, I just basically told myself I'm going to be working till the day I die.
And folks, as you hear Joe say that, we hear people say that all the time. I was a pastor for 22 years, and I figured I like doing it. I will work till the day I die, which is going to be 103 because that's what my grandmother lived to. So I figured that's how long I was going to live. And yet we have people that come to Lifestyles Unlimited sometimes later in life, and they're thinking this is going to be going on forever. In many cases, retire themselves 5 years or less. They're living on passive income. You may be a lot closer to retirement than you think. And actually, or if you're in that position where you say, I'm going to work till I die, you may be a lot closer to achieving that goal of having enough passive income to meet or exceed your bills, a lot closer than that than you think. So back to Joe's story. Joe, you heard about Lifestyles Unlimited. Tell us, you were talking about Facebook. Tell us about that.
So I saw my friend post on Facebook about buying apartments, and I responded to his post and saying, hey, I want to know more. I want to do that too. So we met at the Apple campus for lunch, and he shared with me about Lifestyles Unlimited and what he was doing with regards to his passive streams of income in apartments, as well as his ownership of several or more single-family properties. And I had always wanted to do real estate when I was in Hawaii, and every time I tried to present my wife with something, she always shot it down. In fact, there was one situation where there was a home in Pacific Palisades in one year in the 90s. I said, hey, sweetheart, there's a home for $185,000. I think we should get it. And she said, no. The next year, David, it was worth $400,000.
Oh, wow.
Selling for $400,000. That same house, I said, that property. There was a hotel condominium conversion, and they were selling units for $27,000. They were studio efficiencies, and I knew that was a great deal. My wife shot it down again, and those same studio efficiencies are selling for $300,000 to $500,000 now.
Wow, that's tremendous. Hey, hold on right there. Come back on the other side of the break. We're going to hear some more from Joe Flores, National Single Family Mentor with Lifestyles Unlimited. Glad you're with us today. We're working on your financial freedom.
We're back with the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. We're here to answer your questions and help you become financially free.
This is David Ruzicka with Lifestyles Unlimited. Glad you're with me today. We're here working on your financial freedom. I'm with National Single Family Mentor Joe Flores. If you want to call in and ask Joe a question, 866-582-9933 regarding single family investing, 866-582-9933. Right before the break, Joe was giving us some examples of why this quote is true. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Some deals he missed on in Hawaii, some tremendous deals, probably unaffordable now. But Joe, so you were talking to your friend who was investing in some passive deals with multifamily investing. Go ahead and continue with your story right there. How you got, what happened when you came to Lifestyles?
So we're getting on in our age, and when we wanted to move back to Hawaii, it's easy to leave Hawaii. It's not easy to return. And so
because of the cost of living, you mean?
A challenge. We knew it was going to be a challenge, and even though working for Apple, I could work anywhere in the nation. And Apple was going to give me a cost of living allowance increase. We knew that it was going to be a challenge even then. And to my surprise, when I approached my wife about Lifestyles Unlimited after talking with my friend and going to the live case study, she said yes. And so we both went to the 2-day seminar taught by David Fisher, one of the presenters. We've got pretty awesome presenters. And I looked at her at the end of the seminar, and she goes, yeah, let's do it. And so we signed into the second-tier membership, which was to buy single-family homes. We had 3 daughters simultaneously in college, so it was really difficult outside of the financials to be able to think above the single-family arena. We got very quickly into our first property on a road trip 7 days after signing up. We drove down 2 hours to San Antonio, went on a tour of 5 different properties. I liked the last one, which needed a huge rehab. My wife liked the first one. And I remember telling my wife, well, I'm not going to do this without you. And I said, okay, you want that, I'll do what you want.
Let me interrupt you just for a second there, Joe. So what Joe's talking about, one of the things that we do for education and mentoring is we have what are called road trips, where you actually go out, you see another member's property, they're in the middle of the rehab or maybe just starting the rehab, and they tell you everything about the deal. And that's one thing we believe in is an abundance mentality. So we tell everything. They say, here's my contractor, here's the insurance company, here's who I use for my hard money loans. And you walk through the property, which is a tremendous opportunity. Right now we're doing those live streams, so you still do them, because the first time that I walked through a property, I would have run away because it was just a little bit disgusting inside. It was beat up inside and beat up outside. But by going and doing these road shows, I had already seen a property and realized that really bad smell you smell is the smell of money. So that's what Joe's talking about, and that's where he got his first deal. So come on, tell us the rest about. Tell us about this first deal.
This was an acquisition road trip, so it was a little bit different from somebody else showing their property that they're in the middle of rehab with, and which was pretty awesome. So 7 days right after becoming challenged members, we found ourselves in contract. We made an offer on the property, found ourselves in contract on the property, and to our surprise, we thought we could only buy one property, and then we were going to have to save for the next couple of years and then buy another one.
Right.
To our surprise, we didn't realize the power of equity, and we were sitting on a bunch of it in our home that we had bought in Round Rock, Texas. And all of a sudden, in 88 days from the time we became Lifestyles Unlimited members, we were in 4 properties making $2,400 a month. It was life-changing, and that first house changed our mindset completely. One of the things we also did was everything was moving so fast and so furious, we attended as many 2-day seminars again because there was always so much to learn, even though he had attended it before and even though we were in properties already. Yeah. And it's a powerful resource to just continue to open your mindset and find out, hey, this is something else that I missed from the seminar.
Yeah, folks, it is 16 hours. It's how to locate, negotiate, rehab, lease, and manage single-family and multifamily. And what Joe is saying is exactly true. And I've been to so many of them, just helping out with David Fisher, doing Q&A with people. And every time I go, I learn something, because this is a guy who has been investing since 2009, owns 40 properties across Texas. And so, and just the information is so great and allows you to become a really skilled and excellent investor. And you said on that first deal, what was your cash flow and what is your return so far on that deal?
Because we did a cash refi on our home at the suggestion of our lender, and instead of taking a loan out on that, we actually bought that with cash, because at the time you could only get 4 finance properties before, which includes your primary home, and before you could do a cash refi. And so our intention was to do a cash refi after we had bought that 6 months down the line, or actually do a delayed financing on that. It turns out I moved so fast in buying so many houses that we were beyond the amount where we could do a cash refi at the time. The rules have since changed, which is really good for investors now. And you can do that up to 10 properties, but it was much more different back then. But our initial cash flow was $740 a month, and our return was 17%. When I finally was able to do a portfolio loan and pull out cash refi, then it went up to about 34 to 35%. And
you still own that property, and you're going to sell it this year? Is that what you told me?
We're going to divest it this year, yes.
Your return is what, around 500%?
So I've done 2 cash refis. It's definitely paid for itself for the initial. Yeah, it's going to be at least 500% return. And the way the market's looking, I mean, I can't believe the price we're going to be able to get for this property that I purchased for $58,000. It's basically about tripled in value.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that is in a very short period of time, folks. And that's what you can do with real estate investing, that you can't do that in the stock market. You just can't. And you're not going to get the cash flow, 30% of your cash flow. When's the last time you bought a mutual fund or a stock that paid you any dividend at all? There are some that pay dividends, but we make money in 5 different ways with single-family real estate. And that is the power of real estate investing. And that is how you retire yourself. And you said, Joe, $2,400 a month cash flow?
With 4 homes, yes.
With four homes. I mean, folks, think about how much that can change your life. $2,400 a month. You're paying the mortgage. You might be paying a car payment or paying the utilities, maybe a couple other things, depending on what standard of living you are at. That's why we talk about real estate investing over and over again, because you, like David Fisher says, like Dell says, you can't get rich slow. You get rich quick by investing in something where you can get those 100% returns, and in this case, 500% returns. Stay with us until after the break. We're with National Single Family Mentor Joe Flores. Glad to be with you today working on your financial freedom.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Now, let's get back to your map to financial freedom.
This is David Ruzicka working on your financial freedom. Glad to be with you this afternoon. I'm with Joe Flores, Single Family Mentor. I do want to remind you, the step that everybody takes, their first step with Lifestyles Unlimited, is going to the free workshop. It is free. It doesn't cost you any money. And you get to understand everything we do as a real estate investor education and mentoring group. We share some really great information with you as well. And I am one of the presenters for that workshop. And I'm going to be presenting next Saturday, April 17th. Oh, and did I mention? It's live streamed. So you don't even have to, you can watch it in your pajamas on Saturday, noon Central Time. Just go to lifestylesunlimited.com and there'll be a icon there somewhere that says attend one of the workshops, and you can click that. There are a couple other workshops during the week as well by my teammates. They are all do a tremendous job as well. If Saturday didn't work for you, but if you want to see what I look like, you can log in on Saturday, but you do have to sign up in advance to get the login information. So would love to have you join us for that. If you'd like to ask a question of Joe Flores, Single Family Mentor with Lifestyles Unlimited, call us at 866-582-9933. And Joe, so glad you're with us today. You were telling us about your single-family home with 500% return and 30% a year cash flow, and you bought 4 houses just in a flurry. And I think that's such a tremendous example for people, because what many people do is they kind of sit and they take a long time and they're nervous and they're scared. Kind of tell me about that. As you were going into that, you'd never invested in real estate before. Your wife had said no all along the way. And finally she said, oh, this Lifestyles Unlimited deal, you can do that. Going through those first 4 houses, what was that experience like for you in terms mentally, emotionally?
Well, the first house itself was a frightening experience because, we didn't know anything. And we were completely going on faith, I guess, even though, we'd seen the numbers and everything presented at the seminar. And we were hoping to God that it was going to be for real. And it turned out to be much more real than we could ever imagine. And after the first contract purchase home, it completely revolutionized our mindset. And then after less than 90 days of joining, and we find ourselves in 4 homes, I suddenly realized, and I had a aha moment saying, oh my gosh, now we can think about apartment investing. And so we quickly upgraded to the apartment membership side to be able to get into apartments. And currently, we've been in 4 passive deals for a total of 453 apartment doors. We're currently in 3, one of which has already done cash flow in 16 months.
Yeah, hold on just a second, Joe. So when you say a passive deal, explain what you mean by that in an apartment complex.
There are operators or syndicators who put together apartment syndications to be able to go after an apartment asset, and they will have a community of investors who are passive. They are the active participant and operator of that syndication, that purchase, and the rest are passive investors in that. Great way of investing without having to do much work.
Yeah, without having to do any work. That's what I was going to say. It's an amazing opportunity because you earn money with apartment communities in 6 different ways, because you do have forced appreciation, because apartment communities, if you increase the value by increasing the income, and so you're able to force it to appreciate in a way that you cannot do with single family. So you make money in 6 different ways. You still get the tax benefits, and you basically get mailbox money, which is a great way to be a lazy investor, but still get the tremendous gains that come from real estate investing and from multifamily investing. So you're going to tell us there about a couple of the deals that you have gotten into.
Yeah, the first one we had 172% after a total hold of 2 years and 3 months, and that was pretty awesome.
172%. That is so tremendous. After 2 years, that's the kind of return that will get you on your way to financial freedom in a very accelerated fashion. So go ahead and tell us again about the rest of them. Yeah,
another one that we've gotten into that at the beginning of this year, January, we did a 63% return on our money, and in that period of time, in the 16-month period of time. With the cash and cash returns added on top of that, that's about 100% return in the 16 months that we've been partners in that one. And it's still going to be doing double-digit cash-on-cash returns following the huge lump sum return that we had at the beginning of January, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And folks, those are the kind of returns that are available to you. And so what is your next, before we get to what you're doing and why you're a mentor, what is kind of your next goal with your investing?
So my daughters, I've got 3 daughters in their 20s, one's in their 30s, and we had been, they've been watching us. They know Mom and Dad are, for the most part, pretty stable, and they do listen when we tell them about the financial stuff. They all became Lifestyles members. The middle daughter is in 2 apartment passive deals, as well as bought a home and rented it out. The other 2 daughters partnered up together, got a duplex, and that's going to be having about a 200% return on that in a little bit over a year. And we're partnering up to go out and buy an independent rental owner apartment. So we're going to own our own apartment as a family unit. And it's really powerful because it's not just going out and buying an apartment, but being able to partner with my own children to teach them how to do this and to accelerate their own way to retirement, because each and every one of them has expressed that they want to do what Del Walmsley says and retire in 5 years or less.
Well, and what a great gift to give your children, to be able to put them in a position where they're not relying on a job, they're not relying on a corporation, not worrying, okay, next year is the company going to downsize? Are they going to move me out of state? I have freedom to choose the lifestyle I want, and that's why, like you said, Del says, it's not about the money, it's about the lifestyle. And what a great thing to be able to do that together with your daughters. And so from there, tell us about how you became a mentor. Why did you become a mentor?
The executive VP of Lifestyles came knocking on my door for months, asking me to become a mentor. And I said, no, I don't want to leave Apple. Finally, one day I said, oh, okay, let's give it a try. So I started becoming a single-family mentor in the Central Texas area, and then I became a national mentor a couple of years later. And what's really powerful is being able to see people over the United States and a couple of places around the world be able to take action and see huge benefits in investing in single-family properties. There are some people who I've also kicked down the road and said, stop playing around with single-family, go buy apartments, and they've done that. Or they've invested passively. And people, when we have the expos every year, some people have actually come up to me and told me that because of what I told them to do and me kicking them in their butt to get moving on, some of them have retired. Some of them are getting thousands of dollars in returns from their investment, more than what they've ever gotten in their typical 401ks or IRAs. So it's an awesome feeling to know that you have been a part of helping people realize their dreams of financial freedom.
Folks, that's exactly what we want to do with you with Lifestyles Unlimited, is provide you that map that many other people have used, that Joe has used, that he's helping people use every day to get on their road to financial freedom. Stay with us after the break. We have a last segment here with Joe Flores, National Single Family Mentor. Glad to be with you working on your financial freedom.
Warning. Listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show will change your life. We will teach you how to create wealth and passive income so you can be financially free. And now, back to your host.
Hey, glad to be with you. This is David Ruzicka with Lifestyles Unlimited, working on your financial freedom with National Single Family Mentor Joe Flores. If you would like to ask Joe a question, you can call into the show, 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Also, want to encourage you to go to lifestylesunlimited.com and sign up for that free workshop. Any of them will be tremendous and will get you on your way. But I am doing the one next Saturday, a week from today, April 17th. It's going to be at noon Central Time. I want to encourage you to go ahead and get started. I saw a quote the other day. It said, "You said tomorrow yesterday." Well, that is today. So I want to encourage you to get moving. So, Joe, you started being a multifamily mentor. Do you have any kind of standout stories of people who have just done really well with real estate investing?
Embarking on the multifamily aspect of trying to go buy our own apartment, even though I am a single-family mentor and I'm mentoring people in the national level, I still need a mentor. And so I've had my meeting with my multifamily mentor where we've written out our plan and plan of attack and some of the steps that we have to get accomplished within the next 3 months to be able to be positioned to start moving the way we want to move and to be able to identify property. So it's, you need a mentor in whatever you're doing. And you need somebody who knows and has been there and who's been able to become successful. And that's what Dale Walmsley's philosophy is all about. Don't do it yourself. Find a mentor, find a system like we have, a community of investors like we have, and be able to get somebody to help you navigate your way and see what you can't see because you're stuck in the weeds. That's
so true. One of the couples that I talk about in my free workshop in retirement, they had a number of single-family homes. They joined Lifestyles Unlimited. They increased their net worth 5 times in retirement. That means they spent a lifetime building a net worth, joined Lifestyles Unlimited, and increased it 5 times in retirement. They made more money in retirement than they had in all the years in terms of their net worth and all the years they had before. And so what Joe's saying is so true. You need to have a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. Who is your multifamily mentor, Joe?
Robert Hale right now.
Yeah, so Robert Hale. So if you go to our website, I actually interviewed Robert Hale a couple of months ago. I was wondering if it was him because I know he's local for you. And so you could actually go hear Robert Hale's story. Just go to podcasts or go to Lifestyles Unlimited website, and you can hear Joe's mentor telling his story. And that's what you want to do is you want to find someone that has a map and is willing to share that map with you so that you learn from success. You don't want to learn from other people's mistakes. You want to learn from their success. And so, great. That's great that you did that, Joe. So such an important word. So some folks that are kind of standouts for you in your mind during your mentoring time.
Well, there's quite a bit. I mean, they range all the way from Hawaii to the East Coast. There's a gentleman who used to live in Maryland. He and his wife started off with Lifestyles. He reached out to me for help and mentoring and how to proceed with the 1031 exchange. And he took one property and with the 1031 exchange, exchanged it into 3, created more than triple the cash flow that he had from this one rental that he had before joining Lifestyles, which was a property that he used to live in. And when he moved down to Florida, because his wife is continuing her education in a certain field, he calls me and we discussed, different types of opportunities and strategies and thoughts about what he can or can't do. And a lot of it is what you can do. It's just most of the times we can't see what we have, and it takes the eyes of somebody more experienced to be able to see the potential of what you have and be able to say, here's some different roadmaps that you can take with what you have. And he's taking them. He has replaced a huge chunk of income when they moved because his wife used to be working full-time, and now she's continuing her education for the certain field that she's in. And he's positioning himself for the same thing, to go out and buy an apartment. But he's actually even looking at doing another 1031 exchange with 1 or 2 of his properties that he did an exchange with, and creating double or even triple the amount of passive streams that he has with just those 1 or 2 properties, which is phenomenal. And he's creating that net worth that's positioning him to be able to get ready to buy his own apartment.
How many times did he increase his cash flow?
So he increased his net worth from one property to 3, as well as more than tripled his cash flow.
Tripled his cash flow.
He's looking at doing it again with at least 1 or 2 of his properties, and it's just becomes an exponential positive snowball effect as you continue to invest and reinvest and take a look at what you have and not sit on debt equity and continue to move forward.
That's why you need a mentor, folks, because you need somebody who can see with a different set of eyes. They see from a different perspective. They're just in a different place, and they're able to say, hey, look, you don't realize it here, but you've got gold here. You can be making 3 times what you're making here, and we're going to show you how to do that. And that's why you want to get to that free workshop. That's why you want to get involved with an organization like Lifestyles Unlimited, where you get that instruction, that education, where people can look over your shoulder and say, hey, you're doing a beautiful job, but let's do it even better. Let's get you there. You begin to tell us another story there. I don't want to interrupt you there on that, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, we did a case study about a month and a half ago with a gentleman from the state of Hawaii, and he was doing it from his truck while he was on a lunch.
I saw
break.
that.
And he hadn't taken action, and I was visiting Hawaii. I was visiting back home, and I got together with a bunch of members, him and his wife included, and I kept asking, why aren't you taking any action? And, you know, a lot of times people are scared to move. And I said, well, here's your kick in the butt. And I told him, here's what you want to do, and here's the steps I expect you to take. Shortly after that, and in the middle of COVID, he buys 3 properties, creates a cash flow of over $20,000, and his wife no longer has to work full-time. And he did it with $47,000 total out of pocket. There's a woman in the Atlanta, Georgia area. She took the information from the 2-day seminar, and she bought a home in Augusta, Georgia, as a single mother and 1-income household, and she created a $640 a month cash flow from that. And she's since upgraded her membership, and she's coming to me for mentoring as well, too. There's a gentleman from Louisiana who took the 2-day seminar and bought 3 properties. He also upgraded his membership to have access to me on the national level. He was able to, 6 months after he purchased his first home, he's able to do a cash refi and pull out over 100% of his initial investment. He's still cash flowing about $500-$600 from that property, and he's ready to jump into the passive investment side because that's what he wants to do. He doesn't have to work too hard.
That's great.
There's stories like that all over the nation. There's folks investing in the Georgia area, Florida. I have this person working for a company called Lowe's, and she has bought a couple of properties. I've walked her through that. She's just super excited. There's another person in Florida who's bought at least 5 single-family properties in one chunk.
And let me ask you a question, because I know about some of those people. Like the guy in Hawaii, he actually bought properties in Texas. And so I know there are people, we always say you can live where you want, invest where you need. And so I know there are people like maybe in parts of Texas that'd like to invest somewhere else in Texas or in another state. How do you we only have about a minute left. How do you do that?
Well, you know, we have a lot of education that teaches you, that walks you through more than just what we present at the 2-day seminar, and teaches you the ins and outs and caveats of building your team, being able to manage property yourself, even though you're doing it remotely. And then, of course, they come to us with, mentoring questions, and we help guide them with resources or point them in the right direction with people in certain professionals that can help answer to detail what they're looking for. And
so a guy in Hawaii is on a daily basis. Yeah, so a guy in Hawaii is able to buy a property in San Antonio or in Central Texas. He's able to manage it from Hawaii. He's able to, with the use of a Lifestyles Realtor, able to do all that remotely. It's something you couldn't do 100 years ago, something you couldn't do probably 15 years ago even. But with the power of the internet and the power of the mentoring that we have and people like Joe, it's tremendous. Joe, just give us about 15 seconds, a final word. If someone's sitting there saying, should I get started? Why should I get started? Answer that for me.
You don't have to be smart to do this. I mean, I'm definitely one of them who's not the brightest and the smartest. A lot of it is just taking action. And what Del Walmsley has presented in this package of Lifestyles Unlimited is a great community, great resource center program, great relationships, as well as the powerful mentoring services that we provide that help you not only to take action, but take smart and educated action.
The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.